I didn't really plan this. If you asked me 10 years ago, I would have never seen this coming. It just kind of all lined up, and when I found this trailer in such a convenient way, I knew it was meant to be. I knew right away that it was definitely for me. Living full-time like this was easier than I expected it to be. I'm Eileen Ricigliano. This is my 1970 Roadrunner Travel trailer that is my full-time home on the road. I think it's a pretty easy way to live. I've kept it really simple. So, I have to think ahead. I bring in all my drinking water, food and things like that. I tend to camp a little bit outside of busy areas. Waking up on top of a mountain with fresh mountain air and bear tracks on the ground outside, it's a really romantic way to live, and I could do my job anywhere and be stationary or in an office space somewhere, but it wouldn't have the same charm. I'm a silversmith. I've turned this into kind of my working traveling studio space. Being on the road and silversmithing has enhanced it because I can stop along my travels and buy turquoise and things in person. I've met people in my travels and set up different relationships, so I do all of my buying in person, which I wouldn't be able to do as easily otherwise. I learned when I was living in Santa Fe from a 5th generation Navajo silversmith, so I've learned kind of old school techniques and tend to favor the Southwest aesthetic, just like my trailer. I think humans are really adaptable. I had never towed anything before. I didn't even have a vehicle I could tow with when I bought it, and I just figured I could make it work. I ended up finding my Jeep and just picking up the trailer and diving in head first. I felt really comfortable with it very, very quickly into the journey. I found it with this Southwest motif paint job. I've had to maintain it a little bit on the road. I had some woodpeckers decide to peck off some of the paint, as well as a lot of hail damage and just rocks and things that kick up. I absolutely love my hubcaps. They're the original Baby Moons, as well as this little reflector that's an old vintage Blue Dot police motorcycle taillight. This is my kitchen. Storage is pretty limited. I have one pot and pan, mug or two, but can't really do a whole lot of entertaining. I added a couple mason jars to the top for dry storage, just to save some cabinet space. The countertop is a butcher block. The sink and stove are still the original enamel, the turquoise color that kind of inspired the rest of the decor. I've used the stove really minimally, and I do most of my cooking just on the stovetop. The curtain rods on all the windows are arrows, and I was actually gifted another little arrow here. Most of the decor are things that I've been gifted, made by customers and people I've met along the way. One of my favorite things I have in the trailer is an old copper carving that my grandfather actually did. Similar techniques to a lot of the jewelry I make, but just done in a different way. The bed folds out, and this just rests on the wooden lip in the middle. Everything folds down. That's pretty good size. The table's a pretty easy setup. It's just a single peg, and the table rests on top. And voila. The little bit of extra work is totally worth it to live this way, just for the freedom. I've been living on the road full-time for 3 years. I didn't know going into it how much I would love it, but 3 years has gone by super fast and I see no end in sight.